This is a quick real estate update from Jerry Metcalf Partners, real estate agents on the ground in Atlanta. We're talking about what it's like, what to expect, the pros, the cons, and what to consider to align yourself and your loved ones for the best opportunities. So, market eavesdrop this week, everybody. We're recording and letting everybody listen in. We were just talking about the market and the fact that it just keeps getting hotter. The number of sales has gone up by more than it ever has this week, week over week, and month over month. Our inventory is down just over the last week from 4.8 months of inventory to 4 months of inventory. A stable market is 6 months. So at 4 months, we are very much in a seller's market, meaning multiple offers are, they're not always ways to count multiple offer situations, but they're definitely prevalent. We've had a lot of talks about that. With low and high demand, low supply, there are a lot of sellers out there who want to sell, but there are still concerns about, I feel like it's a high risk situation, or I've got a high risk family, or, parents living with me. There's still a lot of questions on how do we do this? I'd like to take advantage of this great market, but I'm a little afraid. And so we decided, everybody, we would share some stories about some situations that we've had and how we've handled them, and how they're all unique and how we look at them. So with that, I'm going to let y'all share some of our stories. Bridgett, you've got a pretty good one that's happened recently. It was literally a day of showings.
It was a day of showings. It was actually only really 3 hours. I had put the word out for over a week to the neighborhood agents. And we did, obviously some prospecting. We did what would have been, if it had been listed, what we would call reverse prospecting. But basically, I just put it out to all the agents. I called all the agents who have buyers for that particular price point. This was right at 900,000. And we had a set amount of time. It was really 2-3 hours, I think is all it was. And then the photographer came in that same time, and we let everybody come through, no shoes, they shouldn't have had to touch anything, all the agents and the buyers. And then when it was all done, I wiped everything down, Lysoled everything, cleaned up everything, all the doorknobs, everything. And then left, and we got an offer that evening. So
what I love about it. Yeah. And I think, that seller was, let's get this sold, let's get this done. So there are a few factors to think about. It's price.
The price was right. The price was, we didn't discount. This wasn't a discounted price point at all.
Exactly. So we were talking about price, but getting the right people in the door in the right time frame, and making sure once they're in the door that all measures are made to keep the sellers and obviously the buyers, but everybody as safe as possible in the situation. So in the preparation, sometimes it's, opportunity comes to those who arrive prepared. I always get that quote wrong. But the preparation up front, we have a reverse prospect list. We have an agent prospect list. We have a buyer target list. And we look at the property and we create customized lists for each of those. And in addition to that, we work our natural organic network to generate these buyers into the houses with an outlay and a plan of, this is what time they're coming, they're wearing masks, this is how we're going to follow up and how we're going to get them out, and it gets sold with the right preparation. It was sold that day. Adam, there's another story I think it was great to share that recently that you sold a listing, and it was literally in a weekend and above asking, even though we had limited access to the house, and I hate to call it limited access, but we're very careful on how we plan showings, again, to keep the seller safe. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. We controlled the access to the house to make sure that we could limit who was in there.
Well, tell us a little bit about the seller first.
Sure. So the seller, they were living there. They had their parents living there as well. So a little bit of a situation where it was a little bit higher risk with COVID happening right now. So we really wanted to make sure that we limited the number of people in the house at a time. We were able to make sure that people were wearing masks, gloves. whatever they needed to wear, and make sure the house no one was touching all the doors, all the lights. So we limited the amount of time or number of people at the same time. So we held it open 3 days in a row. It was priced perfectly. And I was there for all the showings, making sure everyone that came in had their mask on, their gloves, and making sure a second group of people weren't coming in at the same time to kind of have multiple people in the house in a crowded space. So it really helped to put them in like a 2 to 3 hour window on a Friday, 2-3 hour window on a Saturday and Sunday, to really maximize the exposure of the house and create that demand that we were able to do. And 4 offers for over asking price in that time frame.
Yeah, we ended up selling that house. It was we ended up selling that house for, it was almost 10% above asking.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So I think something that, go ahead. Yeah.
I want to comment really fast. So if you recall, I actually did a Zoom showing.
Yeah, that's right. You did a virtual
So
tour, like a
Zoom call with my client.
Yeah, on that property that we had listed.
That was I believe the first showing of that house. I was there with the camera or the phone doing a Zoom showing with you.
Well, and that's the other thing is buyers, because we've also got buyers who are concerned, and we have Matterport tours so they can tour the house on their own time and videos, and we can meet them on a Zoom call or a FaceTime call to see the house with us, to make sure they want to come in the house later, whether the seller requires it. Usually the sellers, the Matterport tours are enough, and the buyers are the ones who may want to come through with us or with their agent to do the virtual tour. I think the great thing about all of this is that a lot of times people see this is scary. How are we going to do this? This is a problem. And what it's presented is, when we know all the moving parts and we can listen to the seller situation and be aware of what the market's doing and how to narrow down the actual buyers that are pay the most money possible for that, or the best price and the best terms for what the seller wants, we create an opportunity. Really just, I mean, a problem becomes an opportunity. In both of these situations that we're talking about, we've got other stories, we were able to create not only the demand quickly, but we were able to communicate that demand, not just through marketing, but through the showings that we were controlling. Because at first it's like, this is a limited situation, but it's a limited situation that creates, there's a Frank Lloyd quote, everybody, I can't remember, but it actually creates more opportunity and better terms for everybody. Anybody else got anything else to say? I think that really sums it up for us. I'm going to add. I think everybody, every single listing changes from price point to seller situation to the buyers coming to the door. And it's a matter of knowing the market, knowing the business, and then knowing what to do with those things to generate the activity and the terms and the deal that everybody needs at the end of the day. Thanks for eavesdropping. Talk to everybody soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bridgett Posey, Adam Vickers, Jerry Metcalf. We're missing Chad today, but that's okay. He'll be back next week for JM Partners at Atlanta Fun Homes. Thank you to our ambassadors and clients for your support of Jerry Metcalf Partners, where our mission is to deliver the best service and the best results for all our clients' needs, their wants, and their families.